What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So let's talk about Omari Hardwick and 50 Cent's relationship, right? So 50 Cent yesterday did an interview on the Breakfast Club. You always gotta watch 50's interviews. They're very insightful, very entertaining. I've never seen a boring 50 Cent interview ever in life. So I always like watching his interviews because you're gonna hear some information that you didn't know about. He's gonna reveal some things about stuff that you might be anticipating, some stuff that you never know, all of that, right? So anyway, in the interview, DJ Envy, he asks 50, he says, when you see Omari Hardwick doing interviews, do you feel like he's ungrateful? Right? Because Omari Hardwick is in interviews oftentimes talking about that he wasn't like how basically he wasn't paid his real worth even at Power, right? And all of that. And Omari always credits 50 though. He always says good things about 50 all the time, right? But he does say he felt like he was still not paid his worth even on Power. He said that before. And so 50 says in response to DJ Envy, I think he leaves the people feeling like he said it to me, right? Or like he brought it to me. I took that as two ways. He leaves the people thinking like he brought it to me, or he also is saying he also feel like Omari is saying 50 didn't pay me right. 50 never paid me right. He never paid me right because they only know 50. 50 goes, they don't really know Courtney. I brought Courtney to the masses. So they looking at me like, oh, Fifth, you didn't pay Omari Hardwick his worth, and you're the reason why he's no longer on the show as Ghost or whatever, right? And so then he goes on to say, 50, he goes on to say, I think he overvalues himself. He's talking about Omari Hardwick. I think he overvalues himself. It's been a while since he's been in Power, but why isn't there any interest around the new projects that he's got going on? And Charlemagne goes, what new projects? And then 50 goes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. He's not able to generate the same interest, since he's done Power. It's been years since he's done Power. So let me just say this. I believe that he's not able to generate the same interest around other things that he has going on because people were so enamored with that character of James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, that the fans really only want to see him back in that role. Like, you had so many people pissed off when he got unalived on the show, and I have to say unalived because if I say the K word, I could get demonetized. I always tell people that for people, I'll be like, why you say unalived? But when James St. Patrick was unalived on the show, it left people in uproar, especially when we found out Tariq St. Patrick was the one that did it. But anyway, nobody wanted to see Ghost have a fall from grace for real, right? As he really literally fell after he was shot or whatever, right? But anyway, so I think that's the only reason why his stuff isn't doing as well. It's not because he's not a great actor. It's not because people don't find him interesting on screen. I believe it's really because people will they feel like the chapter for James St. Patrick should not be closed and it didn't close correctly and he needs to return to Power. People, I promise you, if Omari Hardwick returns to Power, I guarantee you Power will break the internet in ways where a lot of these reaction channels that, it's a lot of, shout out to my white folks. A lot of white folks do reaction channels. They react to every show but Power. And I guess maybe because it's it got an urban black, it's a black field, it's a black show, right? Black show, but phenomenal show, phenomenal. And I think everybody should watch the show. I believe if Omari Hardwick were to return to Power, it would break the internet so much that the white reaction channels would be forced to watch it. Like, yo, it's the topic of talk of the town. They would be like, yo, we have to watch this show. We got to get all in. It would be the talk everywhere if he returned. It would break records if he returns. And so I say to 50, I don't think Omari Hardwick overvalues himself at all. He knows his worth. He was getting paid like $150,000 per episode. Now, compare that to Mary J. Blige, she was getting paid $400,000. I'm not mad at Mary J. getting paid her money because oftentimes women are underpaid. Actors, when they doing their thing, they get underpaid severely. But also, she's Mary J. Blige. She came in the game. She came on that show with a big name. Everybody know Mary J. Blige, queen of R&B. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. So she came in with a different type of prestige. Now, I will say this. By season 3, I do, because 50 said about season 3, the threshold for pay scale is set to change. That's something like that in the Breakfast Club interview. By season 3, I think Omari should have been getting at least 300-something thousand per episode. 350-something. I think he should have been getting that type of money per episode without question. I do. Or at least close to 400,000 because he was just that enamoring of a character. James St. Patrick laid the foundation for all the Power spinoffs easily. He is as big of a character as what's the guy name on Soprano, Tony Soprano, and all these other people that people love and all these shows. He is as big of a character as those individuals. And I think because white America gravitated to Tony Soprano. If white America really gave Power a chance, they would see how Omari Hardwick embodied that role so much. I don't see nobody else playing that role and delivering it the same way he did. Not Idris Elba, none of them dudes. Omari Hardwick playing Ghost was the perfect combination of menacing, calculated, suave, cool, sociopathic, articulate. He was everything that you wanted your protagonist to be. Especially in the drug dealing world. He was everything. He was cool. He was suave. Again, just menacing, calculated. He was intelligent, articulate, all of it, like I just said before. And Omari Hardwick brought that character to life on screen. If Ghost would have passed away in the third season, I don't think the show would never have the same ratings that it has. But I think, let's just say if we never had Omari Hardwick or Ghost character, if he started Power with Tariq as the main character with Power Book Ghost, if he started out with Tariq age right now, if he started out the show with just Michael Rainey Jr. and all of that, I don't think the show would do as well. I think the show is doing well because we've already been invested in the story that James St. Patrick, Omari Hardwick helped to lay the foundation for. And so we're invested in the spinoffs because of what Omari Hardwick helped to bring, like the foundation he helped to lay. So I don't think he overvalues himself at all. Stars was riding on the back of Omari Hardwick for years. And we all love characters like Kanan and Tommy, Joseph Sikora as Tommy, and 50 Cent as Kanan, and Notori Naughton as Tasha St. Patrick. You know, the half smart chicken head, Tasha Green, aka Tasha Green, the half smart chicken head. Like, look at all the lines that Omari Hardwick, like, he delivered that emphatically. What he told Tasha, give me a break, I just lost the love of my life. He told his wife when his side joint died, he just lost the love of his life, even though he separated from Tasha to be with Angie, as he called her, right? Like, look, man, he embodied that role, and nobody else could play that. To where I don't think we would have been as in what's the word I'm looking for? We would have been as interested in the show as much, enamored with the show, right? Because we became enamored with the show because I mean, James, of course, everybody loved Tommy and all of that, but James St. Patrick being the main character played by Omari Hardwick helped to drive the show home. It was a home run hit. I remember when it first dropped, people were all, because remember, Empire was red hot, right? Power got Empire out the way. Like, when it first started, people were like, yo, Power better than Empire. Power better than Empire. It got it out the way immediately to the point where it was like, people were still watching Empire, but I think when Power's rise started to happen, people started to lose a little interest in Empire because 50 had created Power, and Power was taken over. Led by Omari Hardwick. Now, I know Omari Hardwick gets in these interviews. I don't like his interviews because he rambles. It take him 20 minutes to answer one question and all that. But as an actor, top tier. He killed that role. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why his other roles aren't being as successful is because people were not ready for James St. Patrick's story to close. People still creating theories about Ghost not being dead, like Tupac. You feel me? Like Tupac, Elvis Presley. They want him to be alive in so many ways. Get into these power groups on Facebook. People creating ways for Ghost to still be alive. They wishing, hoping, and praying at the edge of their bed at night that Ghost would return. People thought he was going to return on the final season of Power Book 2, Ghost. They thought he was going to return on there. They thought he was going to come back. Omari Hardwick is not overvalued. He knows his worth. For real. He carried that show for years, and he's just important as Tony Soprano to television.